This week in Jamaica Now, waiting on a date, appeal court reserves ruling in Vybz Kartel appeal but says the matter is getting priority. Attorney Jennifer Mesado in trouble again. What happened before a senior superintendent killed himself in St. James? Gloom in a Hanover community as a 91-year-old woman and her 15-year-old grandson are shot dead in a gang feud. Why the embattled NESol boss has resigned and how a state board chairman tried to secure a job prospect for her. And water crisis looms, Portland among the parishes in worry. I'm Damian Mitchell and this is Jamaica Now. Dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and his three co-appellants are yet to hear the outcome of their legal challenge against their conviction and sentence. Kartel, Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones and Andre St. John are appealing their 2014 conviction for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. At the end of their 7-day appeal hearing on Monday, President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Dennis Morrison, said the ruling was being reserved. However, he said the matter would get some priority. The judges will have to review more than 6,000 pages of written submissions plus 7 days of oral arguments. On the final day of the hearing, the appeal court was directed to 2 other dates when the damning text message at the center of the Kartel case would have been created. Isaac Buchanan, one of the attorneys for Sean Storm, argued that there was evidence during the entertainer's murder trial that the damning BlackBerry messages were created on August 23, 2011 and September 30, 2011. Last week and again on Monday, Buchanan's colleague Bianca Samuels asserted that the message was created on July 6, 2011, 6 weeks before Clive Lizard Williams was killed. However, prosecutor Orrit Brown said this assertion misrepresents the understanding of the evidence used in the murder trial. According to Brown, the folder containing the message was created on July 6, 2011, but the actual message was created on August 19, 2011, that's 3 days after Williams' death. Attorney at law Jennifer Mesado is in more trouble. This week, she was charged with fresh offenses of forgery and obtaining money under false pretense. The police say the charges stem from an allegation that in June 2017, Mesado prepared a sales agreement for property without the knowledge of the owners. It's further alleged that the attorney forged the signature of the mortgagor to facilitate the fictitious transaction and collected $150,000 as down payment for the prospective purchaser. She is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday, September 11. She is currently before the court on similar fraud charges. The past few days have been gloomy for the western parish of Hanover following the murder of a 91-year-old woman and her 15-year-old grandson. It was reported that about 9 o'clock on Wednesday evening, Doris Frame and young Jesse Spence were at home when they were pounced upon by 4 armed men. The men opened fire, hitting them multiple times. Frame and Spence were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Detectives assigned to the Hanover Police Division have arrested 2 men in what they say was motivated by gang issues, and the police have issued an appeal for 3 other men to surrender. Howard McIntosh, otherwise called Zill, Nicoy Mackenzie, otherwise called Nick, and Ricardo Bird, otherwise called Whiteman and Birdie. All the men live in Lucy, Hanover. Still in the West, police sources have revealed that a day before Senior Superintendent Dermot Lawrence committed suicide, he was behaving erratic and his service weapon was seized. The police had gone to his Mango Walk home in St. James after the cop reportedly fired his weapon. According to the police, Lawrence reported that he accidentally discharged the gun. A senior officer told the Gleaner that the police did not feel comfortable leaving him with the weapon, and so they took it from him for safekeeping. A day later, he was found hanging by a piece of rope. It is reported that the 37-year police veteran had been having domestic issues. A Clarendon twin girl is in a battle for life after she was diagnosed with leukemia. It's the latest in a string of upheavals for 10-year-old Dalmina Mills. In October 2013, the Gleaner highlighted the story of a single father, Conroy Nelson, of farm in Effortville, Clarendon, who took charge of Dalmina and her sister to the admiration of those around him. In 2016, the father was killed in a shooting incident in their community and Dalmina's sister injured. Dalmina's grand aunt is now struggling to give the girls the kind of care they need as the hospital bills for Dalmina is climbing. Already, she has spent almost $114,000 for chemotherapy and is yet to find the money for the next 5 treatments. You can help by depositing funds to Dalmina Mills' account at Jamaica National Mapen Branch. The number is 101-99325. You may also contact 876-783-6531. The resigned managing director of the National Energy Solutions Limited, Carolyn Warren, has vowed that she will rise again. Warren this week stepped down amid controversy over the revelation that 23 years ago, she was convicted for a drug offense she never declared when she was getting the job at NESol. Warren said she decided to walk away from the position to avoid prolonging what she called an unfortunate and deeply painful situation. And on Thursday, the Gleaner reported that 2 years ago, Trevor Forrest, the managing director of the Spectrum Management Authority, tried to improperly insert Mrs. Warren into the shortlisted candidates for the post of administration manager there. Warren had written to Mr. Forrest applying for the post. Mr. Forrest then wrote to Spectrum's managing director, Dr. David McBean, instructing him to add her to the prospective interviewees. However, Dr. McBean refused, saying it would breach policy. Mr. Forrest then instructed him to suspend the hiring process until the board review the policy. Drought is making it hard for hundreds of Jamaicans this summer, and the People's National Party is demanding immediate action from the government to ease the problem. According to the PNP, the government should immediately move to give more money to municipal corporations to respond to the drought situation because it is worse than was initially reported. Earlier this month, the government allocated $30 million to the St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, and St. Mary, as well as the Portland municipal corporations. The government is seeking to assure that Central Kingston residents will be consulted as part of the project to redevelop the National Heroes Park. At an RJR Gleaner Group Town Hall meeting on Tuesday night, residents decried the fact that they have not been invited to talk about the issues. They were also concerned about the planned demolition of buildings.
OPM could send out a letter 2 days ago indicating that STC will be consulting us. I don't think that is a proper thing to do.
In order for us to improve, there will have to be some changes. And in order to bring some changes, it means that we have to talk to you when we are ready. It don't make sense coming to talk to you and we don't know where we're going to put it. We don't know, the plans are not detailed enough to satisfy you that you can be put in this area in the community or that area. Or that area is going to be a football field. We have to do some preliminary planning before we come talk to you. We're not trying to fool you. When we come to you, we will have something to tell you. And if you don't want to go over there, you can tell us at that time. But at the end of the day, when the project is done, I assure you, you and your children and all Jamaica will be proud.
And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, work has been progressing in 3 Miles Kingston as part of a major project. Here is what the area will look like at the end of the project.